Hi, I'm Bridget Freeman, and this is Sam Clayton. We're seniors here at BCC, and we're going to talk to you guys today about the elements and principles of design. So when you're thinking about 3D art, some things to keep in mind are craftsmanship, size, originality, and the subject.
And the interpretation of a piece depends on the viewer. So I might like something that Bridget doesn't simply because of what's appealing to me and what's appealing to her.
And then these are the elements of design. So it's line, which is different shaped lines, which can be horizontal, curvy, diagonal, and they all create different moods. There's shape, which are 2D elements on a painting or a piece of artwork. And then there's form, which is height, width, and depth, which also applies to 3D art. There's value, which is the lightness and darkness of colors. There's color, which can be cold, warm, or neutral colors. There's space, which is the depth and foreground and background, and also negative space. And there's texture, which applies to 3D art as well. So that's literal texture, but in a painting, there can be implied texture.
The principal design are balance, unity, contrast, emphasis, pattern, movement, and rhythm. And we will get into detail on the rest of the slides. So in this, there can either be literal balance or figurative, or like implied balance in a piece. In this photo particularly, there is literal balance, where everything is sort of coinciding, so nothing's tipping over. But in a painting, you could have balance of colors, like red on one side, red on the other, or balance of depth in a 3D piece.
There's unity, which is multiple pieces that work together to create something as a whole. And so for this one, for example, there's multiple little dots that work together to create this whole painting.
And contrast is pretty obvious. I mean, it's black and white is the most basic form of contrast, but it's just the difference in colors or depth to provide appeal in an art piece.
There's emphasis, which can be color emphasis. So for this, there's the red apples because red stands out very well. And there also can be emphasis with the size of objects in a picture or painting. So if there's a large object, that object will stand out the most.
Pattern's another pretty easy one to understand. Pattern can be in 2D art like this, just the same image repeated with other images in between. And in 3D art, it can be in just a certain form on a sculpture or a certain design.
There's movement, which is the path that the eye takes throughout the picture. And so for this one, your eye kind of goes from left to right because the red stands out so boldly. And so then your eyes move around the horse and then to the horse.
And rhythm is the collaboration of a bunch of individual items in a piece to create the appearance of movement. In this, it's petals of a flower that spiral inward to create to get your eyes to move.